I don't think that there's a better last film to talk about than Unforgiven, because Unforgiven is kind of like the final word on Westerns. So Clint Eastwood spent like decades making movies about like how killing was cool and like the cool cowboy that like just was able to like, walk into town and shoot everyone dead and just walk out of town and be totally fine with it. And this movie like completely tears all of that apart and like completely like deconstructs
Yeah.
the Western. This is a movie about like a broken, haunted, old gunslinger who just wants to be left alone and is pulled one last time into something begrudgingly against his will. This really examines like that this lifetime of killing takes its toll. There's a reason that this movie won 4 Academy Awards, because like it really feels like it takes the typical Western mythology and just like turns it upside down.
Yeah, completely.
What are some of the things that you loved about this movie?
Everything. I truly don't know how many times I've seen this film. I have probably seen this film, and I'm reluctant to say this, but probably more than 25 times.
Nice.
And I'm not sure if I'm not sure. I mean, that's an issue. You know what I mean? Like, but every time I watch it, I get something new out of it. I will say, I mean, Morgan Freeman is just phenomenal. He is so good in this part. He is so good. This is a pre Prince of Thieves Morgan Freeman. He just brings everything to the table. And Gene Hackman. I mean, Gene Hackman playing it just doesn't get better. These are actors that grew up, watching Westerns. That would have been their go-to, and they, yeah, man, when you think about everything that you just said, deconstructing the Western and sort of putting it back together in the sense that, that these are not always as they seem to be. These people are not the rugged, tough, machismo that are unaffected by all the deeds that they've done in their lives, and that they are affected by it. That Morgan Freeman, has anxiety because he has, a wife and a life, and he's moved on from all the things that they've done in their past. And then they've got this young kid that, comes in and wants to, make a name for himself and be that guy in the Old West. And he's sort of that romantic, like look back on what it was, and realizing through their exploits and through their adventure that maybe that's not for him. He doesn't want to grow up and be like them. And, it's, saying that in a Western is truly bold. Okay. That had not really been done before. And, it takes a guy like Clint Eastwood, who knows a Western probably better than anyone on this planet, to make a film like this. And, I would imagine that when people read it, they were like, we're doing what? We're making a Western about what? A guy that has remorse in the West? What are we doing?
Right.
But
well, that the interchange of that line when the Schofield kid shoots the guy for the first time,
right.
And he says like, he ain't never gonna breathe again, all on account of me pulling a trigger. And that's when Eastwood delivers that famous line. It's a hell of a thing killing a man. You take away all he's got and all he's ever gonna have. Such a deep, like, and it makes people feel like, I don't know, because you've watched all these Westerns and you dream about like being an outlaw.
Yeah.
And you dream about what it would be like to just shoot a guy. And that's what the typical Westerns tend to have sort of glamorized that. They tend to have really glamorized that violence. And just in this one moment, it like really paints what that violence actually is and what it does, and creates like a level of guilt that the viewer then has.